What's up, historians and fellow ranters? The historic format is a very unique format in Magic, and there are a number of reasons for that. For instance, we just recently became the only format to have digital-only cards. But undeniably, the first anomaly that shaped the unique nature of the historic format was the introduction of historic anthologies. What are historic anthologies? When will we get another one? And most importantly, what do you think we'll be getting? Well, that's coming up right now on this "Please Wizards, I've been a good boy, now give me the cards I want" episode of Mana Rant. But first, I'm Hoshi, he who talks too much, lover of 9 lives, sultan of solemnity, and fortifier of Pella forts. And, as always, I am joined by a man who, at one point in our past, at an anime convention in Lancaster, California, I witnessed him vomit an entire piece of bacon out of his nose. My old friend and nasal magician, we have DrunkenDork.
Yeah, I will never forget that. Yeah, I am truly just a terrible, disgusting person who apparently doesn't chew their food because, yeah, it was a whole, like, 6-inch slice of bacon and just straight out the nose. It was terrible. This was a long time ago because I don't even really watch anime anymore. I'm not a huge fan of it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking.
Good stuff, man. All right. So lastly, we have, our other co-host, Apollo, who still isn't here. I don't know what else to say about him. No video this week. He managed to send in a couple card selections, so we got that out of him at least. So
we'll get to that later. Yeah.
We'll roast him later. Yeah, anyways, welcome back to the show, and thank you for joining us. We are the Mana Dorks, a couple of friends who've been playing Magic forever, and we're doing a historic podcast now. We've been doing it for quite a while, almost since the format came out. We've been doing this, so you are listening to the Mana Rant podcast, where we talk about everything in Magic the Gathering, but mainly focus on historic. And our show moves through a bunch of segments, right? And all of them follow the phases of Magic. The main phases are our main topics. We got a pretty fun show ahead of you, so let's just jump straight into it and get into our Untap phase.
Untap.
And Untap is where we untap some drinks. So, Drunken, you're up first. What are you drinking tonight?
Oh shit! I was gonna try and finish this by the time I untap my beer. But actually, I have a can of beer because I was at Costco today and they had Belching Beaver at Costco.
Oh, what? Oh man!
Viva la Beaver, and it's a Mexican chocolate peanut butter stout.
Oh, that sounds
That doesn't
awesome.
sound good. Yeah, I don't know, man. So I'm gonna, as soon as I pound this right here, I'm gonna. Looks like end step's coming early today, boys.
Nice. Man, I'm making a fucking mess right now. Mexican hot chocolate sounds great, though. I got a Kentucky coffee over here, which is bourbon and coffee and some coffee whipped cream on top. I got Jamie a like one of those custom whipped cream makers, where you can like crack the CO2. So she made coffee whipped cream, and she went a little overboard, and it's like spilling all over my disc. But yeah,
the gift that keeps on giving to you.
I know, right? I know. I was like, here's a gift for you, right? What a nice boyfriend I am. This totally is not for me. I won't benefit from this in any way, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Man, it's all up in my mustache.
Totally selfless.
That's me, in every way. All right, well, cheers, DrunkenDork. To a good show. And to everybody out there.
Ooh, that's fucking bomb.
Nice, dude. I'm jelly. All right, and with that, we will move into our upkeep phase. Upkeep? Get ya upkeep! Woo. Yeah, that's good. It's been one of those long weeks where I need an extra little coffee drink, you know. So.
Absolutely.
Upkeep is our Reddit rant phase. And Reddit rant is where we look to the internet for people screaming, crying, bitching, whining about Magic the Gathering, which is always, a treat to do. I enjoy a good rant. But surprisingly, I haven't found a lot of good ones this week on the normal places I go to, which are like Reddit and Facebook and all that. So I was inspired kind of by last week where we had our guy that got a official complaint from emails suspending him for roping people, and that guy. And so that inspired me actually to look into some other avenues where we might find some people complaining about stuff. So here we go. I am on the actual Wizards feedback forums this week. I forget how I ended up getting here, but oh boy, do we have some stuff here. Now, these forums are meant for people to like submit bugs to the game, right? Like, hey, this new patch that you just put broke something, right? Or like, hey, when I do this, or like my card's not working, stuff like that. And there are a lot of those in here. But when you scroll down, the very first post that you see on here with 2,625 like upvotes basically is the Shuffler. All right. So I don't know who wrote this. But holy shit. Just like Facebook and everything else, the grammar is atrocious on here. So strap in. This one's gonna be.
Did you write this?
A bumpy ride. No. I mean,
okay.
This is bad for me. This is even. I mean, all right. So this person, holy shit, is definitely getting the saddy pants music. So here we go. The title of this complaint is Shuffler. Your hand smoothing algorithm is probably one of the worst things to be done to Magic the Gathering, as it is from firsthand experience. It is hurting your business, as I know many long-term players have walked away from MTG because of it. I do not understand you putting it. I do understand you put it in to draw in new players. But when you have players who have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years leaving because of it, holy shit, people are spending this much on
Dude, give me some of that arena money, man.
Hundreds of thousands. Okay. Anyway, leaving because of it, it really isn't helping. As a suggestion, holy shit, this is the longest sentence ever, by the way. So if I pass out, call 911. As a suggestion, don't force the veteran players to use it. If it's supposed to be a buff, then giving us the option to turn it off should be a problem. And the coding to put it an option is extremely easy with the old Shuffler algorithm and wouldn't even have to write any code for it. Oh, that was a long sentence with no commas, nothing. Thank you, Shuffler guy, for that. I think this is probably the only compromise that will make hand smoothing actually function as it was intended to draw in new players without alienating the old ones, and probably the best option for the health of the business. Dear God, Drunken, what do you think of Shuffler Sad Pants over here?
Dude, I want to know who has spent hundreds of thousands. I'm pretty sure what he or she meant to write was hundreds and thousands, not hundreds of thousands, because that, no. I'm pretty sure nobody has spent hundreds of thousands on this game. But besides that, dude, this is like a big contention with the game. People are constantly complaining about it more than I think, even Tibble's Trickery. I see more complaining about this,
About the Shuffler,
yeah, it's a problem. And like people who stream, you can see it. You can see it happening like on stream. Fortunately, I streamed last night and like there wasn't any bad Shuffler problems, but like you do see it the more you play. And I don't know, man. I'm kind of with them. Even though the grammar's not there, the fucking, 2,626 people agree And so do I. That makes it 2,627.
So I think a lot of what's going on here is like, all right, so the shuffler is supposed to randomize the cards and then it picks like the 2 best hands, right? Sometimes you just have a bad day, right? You get bad draws, you get bad hands, and I think it's really easy to blame other things for that. So I'm not saying that Wizards isn't doing any more fuckery with this, but this is what they've told us, right? And so sometimes, like, yeah, when you're winning, you're like, yeah, I kick ass, right? You're not thinking about the shuffler at all, right? You're just thinking, like, I'm doing really good at Magic. But then when something bad happens, like, I know I've played at, like, card stores where I have definitely gotten 2 no land hands in a row, you know? And it happens. Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened to me in Arena. So there is some like hand smoothing going on while they're fixing your hand a little bit. But I mean, so is this what that guy's saying? Like he wants to get those 2 no land hands? Like he just wants the full blown random experience with no, like, you know, it basically doing a mulligan for you. I don't know. Like this I'm surprised 2,600 people upvoted this shit, that they can understand what the hell he's saying. And then there's all these logs and stuff that you see people get on here. And now the comments on this, there are 2,346 comments on this issue right here. And I didn't even want to tip my toe into that stupid. After I read this to Jamie, she was like, you should come up with a drinking game for that, where every time somebody makes a grammatical mistake, you have to take a shot. I was like, I'll be
no.
I'll be dead before I go to the next page, you know. This was one of the roughest ones I think that I've gotten through so far. So yeah, I mean, any last thoughts? Do you think I'm off base here with, like, maybe he's being a little fucking dramatic, or do you think
I don't think so. I think, yeah, it's like you said, sometimes you see it more than others, and like there's definitely days I play where like a lot of my decks run 20 to 24 lands. Some of my decks have 26, and like I'll play multiple games in a row where I'd say I'll be playing my 26 land deck where I'll get no lands.
Yeah. And
then I'll play multiple games in a row where I'm playing a 20 land deck and I get like 10 of my fucking lands. Yeah. And statistically, that's impossible. You know, I'm like drawing land after land. Like I know that you can't, you know, I know it's RNG, but still, it's like the amount that it happens is just like there's something wrong there, I think. I don't know. You know, that's what everyone complains about. So, and that's why I kind of agree with this guy.
I think the difference with that is when you're doing shuffling with your cards, people don't mana weave, which if you don't know what that is, that's where you like put one land and then like another card, right? It's like where people would kind of like perfectly shuffle their deck, so that's
cheating.
Yeah, it's cheating technically. People don't technically do that, but they do make sure that their lands are pretty dispersed through their deck while they're shuffling their cards. People like they look at their cards while they're shuffling. People are making sure that there's not big blocks in there. The game's not doing that, right? It just like is being truly random. So I think when he's talking about these veterans, I think everybody really does kind of cheat a little bit when they shuffle their deck in real life. So do you want the shuffler to kind of cheat with you? I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. Maybe I'm going a little too deep on this, but I
mean, at the end of the day, it's hard to do because, right, like when you do that, you're playing your opponent and they could just reshuffle it however they want, as long as they don't look at your cards. So, it is a tough call. I think, the game's great. We play it. We have a fucking podcast. Like, these are just little complaints that come out of people that, like, really love the game. So, I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, it's never going to be perfect. And you can't possibly please everyone.
No, and you're never just going to get perfect games all the time. The difference is if you're at an LGS and this happens to you, you have no one to fucking blame except for yourself. You know, you're the one that shuffled the deck, so you just have to
That is very true.
You just have to go, my luck is fucking terrible. But instead, when you're playing a game where the shuffling is handled by a computer, you can go, my luck's not fucking terrible. You fucked me, Wizards, right? So it's just an easy outlet to complain to. So I think all of these like just go straight into their trash can. If that's truly how they do have the shuffler, they probably pay no fucking attention to these posts, you know? So
Yeah.
Anyways, if you find a Reddit rant out there, yeah, send it our way, and we'll take a look at it. And with that, we'll move into our draw phase.
Let's draw.
Okay, so draw phase is kind of a dual phase that we have. The first thing that we do in here is I check every week for MTG News, brought to you by two of the dumbest people on the planet that probably shouldn't be giving advice to anybody, but fuck it, here we go. So this week in MTG, there is nothing really to report except for one super important thing. There is a new arena code that came out for us, guys, and it is called Golden Community. If you are on arena right now, or stop what you're doing and go type in Golden Community, because like I forgot about this a couple of times. I finally did it. You'll get 1,000 mastery points of experience and 2 random cosmetics. So, go do that. And with that, let's move into what we've been playing this week. So DrunkenDork, what have you been playing?
Okay, so I actually haven't been playing a lot this week. I've been caught up playing Destiny 2 of all things, and I've been playing a lot of that, like with my free time, and like getting my a couple wins in at work a day. So I've been playing on my cell phone, which is fucking terrible. Awful. I hate playing on the cell phone.
Yeah, I don't play ranked. I don't play ranked if I'm on my phone. No way.
I do. That's the only thing I play. So okay. I was doing that. But last night, or this morning technically, I played I did a stream on my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/DrunkenDork. And I played Big Red, but not any Big Red. It's from someone in our Discord channel. It's called, his name's S'mores and Bacon. And I called the deck Blood and Bacon, I think is what I called it.
Nice.
And man, that deck fucking is dope. And best of one on the ladder. Yeah. My God, that deck is so good.
Yeah, I've been talking about it on here for a while, actually. Because I play a little different version than the one that, like, I took his and changed some things, but yeah, it crushes. And that's one of the things I was saying last week was, like, once they banned Tybalt's Trickery, dude, this deck's gonna be fire, man, because that was the only problem that I really had with that deck. But
yeah, so I think, that's what I was going to get into. This deck does really good on the format. Since Tybalt's Trickery got banned or suspended or whatever.
No, it's banned.
The format has slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah,
because it went from, like, it still can be a turn 3 format, but it went from, like, consistently playing, like, against decks like that to playing against a lot slower decks. Like, I've been seeing a lot more blue-white control.
Yeah.
And what Big Red does really good is it plays against control decks, because what you're doing with the deck is you're eventually putting down Chandra, Awaken, whatever the fuck her name is.
Inferno.
And yeah. And she just blows out control because it's mitigating life damage or mitigating damage against your opponent. Not only that, like, you can't counter it, which is great. They return it with Teferi. They put it in, like, 2 cards down. You draw it again. You play it. They're still getting damage dealt to them over that period of time. It's such a good card. The deck does really good against elves, and we had a whole podcast about how good elves are, and this deck just annihilates elves.
Oh yeah.
It's really good against against just a lot of stuff in the meta right now. And I don't know, are you playing the gameplay at all?
Oh yeah, let me throw it up there. Yeah, no, and I think, like I was saying, the one reason I really, like, stopped playing the deck was because I kept running into Tybalt's Trickery with it, and that was, like, really the only deck that I ran into where I was like, fuck, I really don't have an answer for this deck, there's no way to stop it. So now that that's gone, I really can't think of another deck that this Big Red struggles against. And man, I'm glad he finally put Sarkhan in there. I've been running him in my version for a long time, and Sarkhan, the master list, is so bomb. It is such a good planeswalker when you're running, other planeswalkers, especially in this deck too, where you're running other dragons and planeswalkers. He fits, like, perfectly in this deck. It's crazy.
So one thing I noticed when I was playing is I played, like, I think I went like 12 or 13 and 2, like, really good, really good numbers.
Yeah.
I don't think I actually won a game with damage once. Every time I won a game, the person just conceded.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I didn't actually win with damage. I do think Sarkhan's probably good. There's only one in my deck. I think ultimately, though, it's all about the Chandras.
Oh, yeah.
Like, turn 3, you can turn 3 Chandra, Torch of Defiance, into turn 4 Chandra, Awakened Inferno, because you just plus the Chandra and add 2 more red mana. And then the game just like, then you really put your opponent on their back foot. You can -3 with the Chandra, deal damage, kill all the creatures, or if you're playing against control, you can start hitting them with the tiny points of damage, and it's great. I love it. Can't speak higher of it. S'mores and Bacon made this deck, I feel like, months ago, and I never touched it because I needed to build like 8 wild cards to do it. I was like, oh man, there's a lot of fucking rare wild cards. I don't want to do this.
It's a lot of walkers.
But it is a lot of walkers. I had a lot of mythics, but it was like the Sweltering Sun. I didn't have those, and I didn't have the Glory Bringers. And I will say in the end, I do like Sweltering Sun because of cycling, but I think Anger of the Gods, like putting a couple of those in here would make it a little bit better, because exiling the cards is really important in our format right now, because once again, I said it's slowed down a bit, and I've been seeing a lot more sack decks in best of 1. So
the aura deck too, because they run the Adonto Vanguard, and this deck, that's another one that I'll say this deck does not do super good against the auras deck unless you blow out their creatures.
It doesn't.
If you blow out their creatures early, that's really the only way you have to stop them. And this deck does have a lot of damage, so you can do that, but yeah, that's another tough deck. So yeah, I mean, Anger of the Gods could work against that, but once again, those creatures just get big so fast. But yeah, this is a great deck. I have actually been playing this week too. I've been playing my Spirits deck a lot too, because people just don't know what the hell that deck is doing, so they're confused. Is it a counterspell deck? Is it like is it a creature deck? Is it a flyers deck? It's like, yes, it's all those things. But this deck's super fun too, and I find a lot of people don't know how the fuck to play against this deck either, especially with Sarkhan. Like I was saying, you haven't got really to use him. He has a static ability. Did you know that?
I forget. What is it again? I forget.
Exactly. No one fucking remembers, and no one looks. So it's for the amount of dragons that you have. If you attack you or a planeswalker you control, he deals like that much damage to each attacking creature. So I've had like elves attack me and then board wipe themselves from their attack, like, because they didn't realize how Sarkhan's like, it happens all the time. Like, people just don't know about that. I mean, those static abilities on planeswalkers are so dumb and rare, that it just totally catches people off guard all the time. But anyways, yeah, do you have anything else? I really, like, I've been swamped this week, so I've barely been playing.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, now that those cards got banned and restricted, the format's changed a lot, and it's shocking to me that I haven't been playing more. I think because it slowed down, and me personally, this is what I've seen, because it's slowed down a lot. It's just made games a little bit longer. So I think ultimately that's probably why I haven't been playing as much. I haven't had as much time, but I really like it. I thought they made a good choice. I'm glad it slowed down. I thought we'd see more blue-white control, and we definitely are seeing a lot more blue-white control. So
yeah, that's fine. I'm not a huge fan of control, but you know what? I will gladly take control over Tybalt's Trickery any fucking day of the week. So
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So thank you, Wizards. And even though you're seeing control, guess what? They're not fucking playing. Memory lapse. Thank you for that too. 5 stars, Wizards, which I rarely ever say, for you. So
yeah.
All right, let's get into the fucking thick of it then, and let's move into our main phase.
Main phase 1.
All right, so main phase 1 this week, we are going to talk about Historic Anthology. So in main phase 1, we're going to focus on just like what Historic Anthology is, like how it's like kind of affected, historic to begin with, and then in main phase 2, we're going to talk about like us and all like the main picks that we think might be coming in the next Historic Anthology. So. Drunken, let's start it off and let's talk about what is Historic Anthology. So, what do you got?
So, Historic Anthology is a digital set released only on Magic the Gathering Arena for the historic format. And this is really where Wizards said, like, you know, okay, we're going to start devoting a little time and a little effort into the format and really make it its own.
Yeah.
Did you want me to keep going, or are we going to go like one after another?
Sure.
Like,
I mean, yeah, it's fine. Keep going. I've been talking too much anyways.
Okay. So it drops with 20 to 27 reprinted cards from any set in Magic. So basically what that means is, like, you know, we're getting cards from fucking all the way back. I don't know what the oldest card we have, but like Onslaught, we have cards from there.
Yeah.
We have cards from, man, I can't think, Mirrodin, stuff like that. And really that's what they're doing, is they're catering a bunch of cards to the format to make it a little more powerful, but not too powerful, you know. And I think they've really done a good job. Like, you see a good mix of cards in there, usually, where it's like some pretty powerful cards and then some not so powerful cards and some really fun, like, Johnny cards where you can build some, like, interesting decks, right?
Yeah, like the what is it, the Harmless Offering and stuff. Like, what? It's such a weird card. I fucking loved it, though. I totally made a full deck around that card. Yeah, and the 20 to 27 is weird. They just like with each set, they've pretty much released different amounts of cards. It looks like the last couple ones have been 25 cards, so maybe that's what we can expect on the next one.
That's what they settled on?
Yeah, the first one was 20, and then, like, there was a 27 in there, and then, like, I don't know. They're kind of all over the place.
Well, that's gonna, you know, that's a good point you say that, because so Hoshi made these lists here. He made pros and cons, and one of the cons of this, like, I think the biggest con is Wizards of the Coast just does not communicate a fucking thing to us, right? When
Not
it comes
about
to
this.
historic, especially.
Yeah.
And, like, they don't tell us when it's gonna come out, like, what, like, you know, how many cards are gonna be in it. This is all ahead of time. You know, eventually they say these things.
Yeah.
What the theme is, like, they're just, like, so secretive about it. Like, you know, we know when a set is coming out for Standard, right? Like, we know it's coming out like 6 times or 5 times a year, however many times
they
the set
release
comes out a year.
a full fucking timeline of it. It's like a very structured thing. Yeah, and this with the anthologies, it's all over the place, man. Like,
yeah, they're like, oh, and by the way, Historic Anthology number 6 is coming out next week. I'm like, oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so another thing about the anthologies is they have like these cycles that they like put in them. And not in all of them. In the first one, there wasn't one, and then in the second one, it was like kind of like a land cycle that they put in there. And then they started putting some other ones in, like the you know, the what was it, the shrines. And then in the last one, we had the Praetors that came into it. So they started adding like kind of like this theme to them now too. So they're, you can see they're kind of playing with it, but it's kind of nice. I guess it's something that like kind of holds the set together or something. What do you think about those?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. You know, I'm interested to see what they do in the future. You know, they have people that are obviously a lot smarter. I think anyone's smarter than me, really. But they have people a lot smarter than me, like, looking at these, you know, the week before it comes out, and they're like, oh, this would be a cool theme. And
yeah.
And then they, you know, and they add something in. So, yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with this. Like, I think there's some really cool themes they can add in, especially now that we have slivers in the format. They could do like a sliver set, you know, where it has like several sliver
Please,
cards.
Wizards. Please. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got next? What else about the anthologies?
The sets are available to buy as a bundle from the store or for a limited time or crafted as singles. So basically the set's out for a limited time. Usually I think it's about a month. It's like 2 weeks to a month. The set will be out to purchase for either gold or for what is that currency that they have? Gems, yeah. Gems or gold. And it's usually, I think it's like 20,000 gold is how much they normally do it for.
Yeah, something like that.
Probably or 20 to 30,000 gold. And yeah, I mean, or you can just craft the cards if you don't want them all. I have bought all of them every time because you never know, you know, even like the shittiest card, because sometimes like you can get that one card in our format that changes what this card does. So you get a 4 of each one of the cards. I always think it's worth it to get them.
Yeah, I think it's like, it works out to be like $20 or whatever it is for like the set. last time. And yeah, I started buying them. I was skeptical on the first couple ones, like, because like half the set is actually like, you know, commons and uncommons and stuff. So you can craft all of those. Those are great. Yeah. But then, yeah, if you want the rares, you know, you either got to craft them or... Yeah,
it's a lot of moolah.
Yeah. But one of the really cool things I think about this set, besides that, you know, that part's not a cool thing, is the like these are powerful cards that they put in. Ulamog is like one of the cards that came in, you know, with this. And
the Praetors.
Like, yeah, the Praetors, like they put some like pretty insane cards in these, but at the same time, like I think they're fun cards in a lot of the way, like where they're not like destroying the format. They just kind of like, you know, diversify the format a lot, right? Like in the last set that came out, like all those Reanimator decks started like popping up, and those were like super fun, you know? So I feel like every time one of these comes out, it has a huge impact on the meta, but like not in a bad way for the most part.
No.
I don't think. I think they're generally pretty fun.
Yeah.
Sweet. So,
absolutely.
Let's look at some of the downsides of this set then, the Historic Anthology. So, what's the first con that we got there, Drunken?
So a lot of people say that, or they criticize that these sets are making the format difficult to recreate in paper, and I think that's the stupidest con ever. Because like at this point now, that we have our own digital only cards in Historic that absolutely cannot be recreated. What's that new thing that came out? That new ability where you can like seek. Yeah. You can never recreate that because you would somehow have to like, you know, mind read your fucking deck and be like, oh, the card is right there. I don't reshuffle or anything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
before,
keep going.
I was gonna say before that happened, people were bitching about this, like this ruining the paper experience, right? Because like these cards are just like kind of, you know, they're just kind of thrown in like here and there from all these different sets. So like when people were trying to play Historic like in paper, they were like, fuck, like how do I know which ones are like, you know, I'm allowed to use or whatever? Because Wizards doesn't have a good job of like showing what's actually in Historic. So yeah, fuck it. Like Historic is not a format that's like viable to play in paper anymore. That's just how it is now.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, what else do we get?
Cannot crack these cards from packs. Yeah, that I understand this.
Yeah.
So basically, you know, you cannot open a like with your gold, you cannot buy a pack of fucking, I don't know, Innistrad and then open it or anything, you know, for that matter.
Yeah.
You have to craft it. It has to be crafted, or you had to have bought it when it was in the pack, you know, the Historic Anthology set.
Yeah. And this is something that really pisses me off. And it's something about both of the jump starts too, is that you can't crack these packs anymore. You know, after Jumpstart's gone, you can't do it. Same thing with these. So what I was thinking is that they need to release like an actual like Historic like set that you could buy on Arena, right? And then add all these in, put all the Jumpstart cards, put all of the Historic Anthologies, and then just make it like a box set, you know, that you can buy on Arena and just crack those packs, so that like people that want to get into Historic, they can start like using their gold to buy those packs or something and crack these cards, because right, it's Magic. Who doesn't like cracking cards, right? That's awesome. So,
you know, and that's a good point. I think that you will see that. I think it's going to happen. It took Modern, I think, about 5 years of existing. I think it was that until they came out with the first Modern Masters.
Oh, okay.
And then they made a Modern Masters set, and then you could crack. You know, they put a lot of influential cards in that set in the format. And so I think eventually when the set has been around and we've accumulated enough cards and they actually like go back all the way, if they say they are, you know, like they say they're going to go back as far as Pioneer plus the Historic Anthology cards. So, you know, they'll probably include a good mix of cards from like all those, you know, like Return to Ravnica, Khans of Tarkir, all those along with the Historic Anthology cards that like matter, and then make a cool set. Cause that would be a really fun draft set too.
Yeah.
Right?
That'd be great.
I think that probably will exist in the future. It's just going to take time, but it is frustrating in the meantime.
Yeah. I think so. One of the other bad things is that, I mean, I don't think this is that bad, is that there has been one ban from the anthology so far, and it was Burning Tree Emissary. But
it's so laughable now, right?
I know. It's still a really good, powerful card that sees play in like some of the highest decks, right? But
yeah,
I don't think of it as a bannable card anymore. But for a while, that was like 60% of the meta, so it did kind of ruin the meta very briefly. But yeah, it was unbanned because now it's totally fair with the power level of historic.
Absolutely.
And then
I'm glad they're doing that too, right? Like banning and unbanning. It's good. You know, it shows that they're at least looking. At least the interns are looking a little bit, right?
A little bit. They're trying to consider it. And then so the last thing that we got here, I made a super nerdy timeline because I couldn't find one online of the actual historic anthologies, because I was trying to like maybe do some like wizardry like prediction of when the actual next set was going to drop. And take a look at this fucking timeline. I cannot figure out when the next anthology is going to drop, because they're all over the place with this. So the first one dropped back in 2019 in November, and then the next anthology came out 4 months later. And then after that, I think they were hype on it. They were like, oh, this is great. And then 2.5 months later, they came out with Historic Anthology 3. Just 2.5 months after that. Then there's 9.5 fucking months without an anthology, Yeah. I completely forgot about it.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
There was a lot of complaining around that time. I remember that.
Yeah. And then so they dropped another one. And then once again, 2.5 months until Anthology 5 dropped. Maybe because the last one was bad. I don't know. And now it's been 5 months since the last drop. So I was trying to find any kind of rhyme or reason on like when they release them. The best I can tell is that they've done it in March and May. Both of these like last ones came out in March. May. That's such a fucking weird release schedule though. 2.5 months apart and then a 9.5 month gap in between. What the fuck kind of release schedule is that? That's I hope they're not sticking to that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I will say this. If you look at number 3, and in between number 3 and number 4, I'm pointing at something that, like, not on the screen right now. But so in between 3 and 4, we got, what was it, Jumpstart, I believe?
Okay.
And then we also got Kaladesh Remastered, I'm pretty sure, around that time.
Okay.
So it makes sense. They were giving us content.
Yeah.
It just wasn't Historic Anthology. And like that is actually something, with this whole thing talking about it, I wanted to talk about, and I forgot to mention it before we did the podcast. But who knows if they're even doing another Historic Anthology? They're so tight-lipped about it.
Yeah.
Like now that they're releasing these Jumpstart sets and they're going back in Magic sets, like we don't know if they are or when they will. Like the next one may not even pop up for another year. Right?
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will because
I hope so.
Because people buy them and people like them, right? Like
yeah, I really hope so.
Yeah, they're fun, and I would bet heavily that they're going to continue to do this, right? They've done 5 of them so far. They have
prints money, right?
Yeah,
and they're not even actually printing anything. They're just fucking
no shit
digitally making them.
And they said that they stopped doing the Pioneer Masters, right, and all that because they just really wanted to focus on like the weird uniqueness of Historic. So yeah. I think this is going to be a staple of things to stay. And I just wanted to take this, this main phase to talk about it with people because, I thought this was going to be a quick thing where I was just like, oh, this is what Historic Anthologies is. And then I started looking into it. I was like, wait, what the fuck really are these things, right? So, went a little more in depth than I thought. Any last words about like what actually these are?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited for main phase 2.
Cool. So let's get into combat real quick then.
Dorkish combat.
All right, and combat is our horseshit card game hosted by DrunkenDork. Take it away.
What is up, everyone? Last week, if you tuned in, you listened, you watched live, you saw me live just be a complete fucking idiot, and that's never gonna change.
Yeah,
because that's me. This time, though, I am positive. I have a card that is not in Historic.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not cheating this week. I promise.
I still don't believe you. But, all right, dude.
So with that, let me explain it real quick. This is a horseshit card game. This is a game where I name 5 Magic cards. 4 of them are in our beloved Historic format. 1 of them isn't, and it's up to this drunken idiot and all you people out there to figure out which one of those cards is. I shouldn't even call anyone an idiot anymore because we all know who the true
Numero uno.
But here we go. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this, man.
Okay. So the first one's going to be Consulate Dreadnought. It is 1 colorless mana for an artifact vehicle and it has crew 6.
Whoa.
And it is a 7/11. The second one is Slyn Voda, the Rising Deep. It is 6 blue for a legendary creature Leviathan. Has kicker 1 and a blue. When Slyn Voda, the Rising Deep, enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return all creatures to their owner's hands, except for merfolk, krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents. And it is an 8/8. Our third one is Dread Rider. It is 5 and a black for a creature spirit knight. And it is 1 and a black. Tap, exile a creature card from your graveyard. Target opponent loses 3 life, and it is a 3/7. And we have Warden of the Woods, 4 green for a creature tree folk with vigilance. And whenever Warden of the Woods becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw 2 cards. It is a 5/7. And then finally, we have Primordial Worm. It is 4 green for a creature worm. And it is a 7/6. So these are all big ass dudes.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure you got this one. This one's a little easy this week, but
I think so.
We'll see.
I think I got this one. So the Slyn Voda or whatever, I'm sure of that one. The Leviathan, I know I've seen him. Pretty sure about the Dread Rider because I've made some janky ass night decks. So I've spent some time looking at knights. And then the Warden of the Woods, he looks super familiar. But his art is pretty crazy. So I just might have seen him on one of the MTG art things that I like jerk off to. And then the Primordial Worm, I do not recognize. But I do recognize some of the things inside that, which are look like they came straight out of the War of the Spark. So I'm thinking maybe that was in that set. And then the other one is Consulate Dreadnought, which is a 7/11 for 1 mana. I feel like this would be fucking great with Karn, the Great Creator. So I am going to pick that one because I think I might have seen it.
Yeah. So Consulate Dreadnought. Yeah, that is definitely not in our format. Yeah, it would be good with Karn, but this doesn't, unlike Kieran, you can't remove counters from a Planeswalker, so you still have to crew it.
Yeah. Wait, no. Yeah, unlike Kieran, yeah.
Yeah, Kieran's the only one, I believe, that you can remove counters. So, yeah, you still have to have the 6 power or whatever it is.
Well, Karn can turn it into an artifact creature, and then it would be a 7/11. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, it would be a 1/1.
No, it would be a 1/1.
Yeah, that's true. It would be a 1/1. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Damn. Still, yeah.
But yeah, this card is still you could put this in token decks, right? Where you can generate a lot of tokens, or even I don't even know. There's so much good shit in here that this card would be a bomb.
Yeah,
absolutely. Good job.
Okay.
And Brennan also got it. Good job on our Twitch stream.
Yeah, nice.
Got it.
Good job. And you lose, Drunken. Haha, you lose again.
I lose every week. The moment I get on this podcast and start talking, I think I lost.
All right, well, good. I hope you guys also won this week because fuck you, DrunkenDork, cheating last week. How dare you? I'm watching you.
Yeah,
all right,
how dare I?
And with that, we'll go into main phase 2.
Main phase 2.
All right, and main phase 2 is where we basically put our wish lists out there, right? This is everything that we want in Historic Anthology 6. So, Drunken, you made a post. What did you ask people? Let's start there.
I said, hi all. This week on the cast, we are discussing what we want to see in the next Historic Anthology. We would like to include your picks in the discussion within reason, power level. And what is a good mythic, rare, common, and uncommon you would like to see added to the format, and why? So if you're not part of our Discord, you should join. because like we don't involve you guys too much, but going forward, I want to like do it more.
Yeah.
Like we have been, like we talk about deck ideas all the time that people submit. And that's something we do, but I think it like going forward, like just including y'all and like discussing things, I think it'd just be better. So join the Discord.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we got some pretty good responses with this.
Yeah.
Not really anyone listened to well because no one told me why they wanted it, but I think
one person did.
You and I, you and I could break it down. I think we can understand why they chose the cards they did.
I think so. Yeah. So let's start off with S'mores and Bacon and his picks. He's got 2 picks in here. He didn't pick all 3, but he did pick a mythic and a rare. So what do we got? I think. Yeah. Never mind. You take this one.
Okay. So S'mores and Bacon chose Tarmogoyf and Torpor Orb. So Tarmogoyf, if you don't know what it is, it's 1 in green for a Lurgoyf creature. And Tarmogoyf's power is equal to the number of card types among cards in all graveyards, and its toughness is equal to the number +1. And its power level is star, and then 1+ star. So this card was huge in Modern for a long time. I think it's still used for sure, but it really thrives on fetch lands, and we don't have that in our format.
Yeah.
So I think this is a perfectly fair card to add, honestly. What do you think?
I'm kind of torn with Tarmogoyf because, man, it could be so powerful. There's a lot of strategies that we have to be able to dump like quite a bit into our graveyard, like starting off. Like Stitcher Supplier, all that kind of stuff. I think it'll be strong. Is it going to be absolutely busted? I don't think so. Like you're saying,
I don't think
without
so.
those fetch lands, I think it'll definitely be on the really fucking high end of the power level, and we will see a shit ton of it. But I don't think that it would be ban worthy if we put it in. It would probably be annoying, but maybe not ban worthy. Yeah.
And then the other one is Torpor Orb, and it is 2 colorless mana for an artifact. And it's creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. We already have something similar to this in our format.
Yeah, a couple things.
The difference is this is colorless, right? So that's what makes this so powerful.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only 2 mana. It does nothing except this ability. So it's like an incredibly good sideboard card. And I really, really like this pick.
Absolutely.
I think this would be powerful in the format, but not too powerful. And it would really punish people for being greedy in game 2 coming out of the sideboard.
Yeah, I mean, and this would be really good. In best of 3, I think it's kind of bad because it limits diversity in best of 3, right? But in best of 1, you can maybe pull it out with Karn or something. So I really like it. I think it's a really cool pick. And there's some decks that just get decimated by something like this, so Skyclave Apparition is one of the like best removals in our format, and this stops that. So I like it. I think it's really good. All right,
cool.
Let's move on to the next one then. And next we have Jacavio, or Japalo, as he's lovingly called for his piss poor performance in the horseshit card game, similar to our other co-host Apollo. And let's see. So for him, he has Rishadan Port for his rare, which is a colorless.
Rishadan Port it's had multiple rarities. So it's kind of difficult when you start, like, even my cards, the cards I picked, they had multiple rarities. This is a mythic and a rare. It's a mythic at one point.
Okay.
And a rare at another point. So I'm pretty sure that's why he picked it like this.
So it's a mythic basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then this looks pretty powerful. You can tap it. It taps for colorless, and you can pay 1 and tap this to tap target land, which can be that. I mean, that's pretty oppressive. I think in a lot of cases, because you can do this on upkeep to brutal. All right, what do you think?
I think this card's really good. I don't think it's too powerful. It's not like a wasteland or something like that.
Yeah.
You have to pay a mana to do its ability. So I think this is completely fair, and it's a good pick.
Sure. Yeah, I like it. I don't think it's ban worthy either. Next, we have Astral Slide, which is 3 and a white for an enchantment. And whenever a player cycles a card, you may exile target creature. If you do, return the exiled target or the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Yeah, I mean, this is adding something to cycling. I don't think cycles creatures really have like crazy ETB effects. Do you?
No, they don't. And I wanted to mention, so this card is an old version. They made a newer one called Astral Drift, I believe. Astral, I'm going to type it in and I'll read it. And I figured maybe he meant this Astral Drift instead.
Okay.
Maybe not, because Astral Slide says whenever a player cycles.
Yeah.
Astral Drift says whenever you cycle Astral Drift or cycle another card while Astral Drift is on the battlefield, you may exile target creature. If you do, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. And it itself has cycling. So I think this is a better one. And I wonder if Jacavio meant that. Maybe not. He'll tell me I'm a fucking idiot. But yeah, I do like this card a lot. A big point of this, me asking, is I want to see what people had to say, like if they want to bring in different deck types and stuff. And I think something like Astral Slide or Astral Drift would make a cycling deck a little bit more viable. And I think that would be cool, right? Because we want more viable, interesting deck types.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the best things about the anthologies is it brings in more diversity in the deck.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't really see how this is going to help the cycling decks, at least the ones that currently exist. So sure, bring it in. You know, maybe it'll eventually make one better. Then we have Reflector Mage next. Reflector Mage is a pretty staple card. It's a colorless, a white, and a blue for a creature human wizard at 2/3. And when he enters the battlefield, you may return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. That creature's owner can't cast spells with the same name as that creature until your next turn. Now this card is pretty crazy. Its effect is really good, and then being able to like cause hate like that in humans. I like it. I think it would be powerful, but I don't think, once again, that it would be ban worthy. What do you think?
I love this card. We should be getting it because this was in like with the Zendikar set, which is the next set that Wizards of the Coast is supposed to bring out for our format.
Okay.
So it'll probably come out in that. And I think this card is fucking great. It's oppressive as fuck, but at the same time, it's not like super powerful. And I like what Jacavio did here. So Astral Slide and Reflector Mage is actually like kind of, if you're doing some type of like pseudo cycling like control theme, they could work together pretty well, where you can Reflector Mage, get rid of something that you think is annoying, and then they're like, oh wait, I played this other thing that's even more annoying. Then you cycle something, you exile Reflector Mage, return it to the battlefield, then deal with that. I think this card is really good, and I can't wait till we get it in our format. Good pick, Jacavio.
Yeah, and that orb that S'mores and Bacon picked shuts this the fuck down. And it shuts both of them down. Pretty much.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And then last we have Pyrite Spellbomb, which is a 1-drop artifact at common, and you can pay a red, sacrifice Spellbomb, and it deals 2 damage to any target. Pay 1, sacrifice a Pyrite Spellbomb, and draw a card. I think this is great if it like those decks that abuse returning 1-drop things like Luris and stuff to the battlefield like this. This would be super strong. Yeah, I don't think it's ban worthy. I think it'd be annoying, but yeah, I think it's good. I mean, we have other spell bombs, so why not this one?
We have the one other one, I think, and the blue one.
Yeah.
And I remember playing this, Hoshi, when me, you, and Scott and Apollo got back into Magic. I remember the spell bombs, I think, were just coming out.
Yeah.
We had stopped playing for a while and got back into it. And this card's sweet. I really like it because it doesn't just work in those decks. It does work in burn decks, I think. I don't know how well it works in there, but it does. Or it also works in aggro artifact decks. So I think this is a good ad. It's you know, it's solid.
Sweet.
Not too powerful.
All right, let's move on to the next picks. And this is from LP Hovercraft, which is a sweet name.
Absolutely. I love it. I giggle. Like I've giggled multiple times reading it.
Yeah, play on HP Lovecraft. So take it away. What are his picks?
Okay, so his first one, his mythic he chose is Liliana of the Veil. For 1 black, a legendary planeswalker, Liliana, probably the most popular one.
Yeah.
Because it was the first 3 mana planeswalker we got.
Yeah.
So it's her +1 is each player discards a card, -2, target player sacrifices a creature, -6, separate all permanents target player controls into 2 piles. That player sacrifices all permanents in the pile of their choice. And it's a 3, it comes down with 3 loyalty. So I think this card is perfectly okay in our format. Like, I like it for our format. It'll add to black. It'll make mono black a better deck. It could possibly make something like Jund mid-range or black-green mid-range a better deck. I think this is a good pick, and I would not be surprised if we eventually see it in our format. What do you think, Hoshi?
Yeah. I mean, we already have a Liliana that's very close to this, the 4-drop one, and so this one is a stronger version of that. So, I mean, why not? You know, I don't see it being overly broken. It would be strong. We would definitely be seeing this a lot if it came in. This would definitely pump up black decks, for sure. So, I mean, why not? And the art's fucking sweet. So,
yeah, the art's fucking dope. The next one's Giver of Runes. It's 1 white mana for a creature core cleric, and it has tap. Another target creature you control gains protection from colorless or from the color of your choice until end of turn, and she is a 1/2.
Yes.
This card's fucking sick.
So good.
She's based off Mother of Runes, which I think is a little bit better, but probably
too strong.
Too strong.
Yeah.
The fact that she says another target creature means that she can be targeted. That's the problem with Mother of Runes, is you cannot target Mother of Runes because Mother of Runes can do it to herself. This card's great.
Yeah.
I think, it'd be really good in our format. Once again, it'd add to like something that's kind of tier 2, 1.5, which is Hate Bears or Death and Taxes, and turn it into tier 1.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, right? Like it's just, it just widens our format. What do you think?
Yeah, I really like it because, it does have that downside to where it can be targeted. It can protect other things. The other thing I like is that it's not a human, because humans are getting pretty strong in the format. So if this was a human, it would probably be like a no, we probably shouldn't add that in. It's like getting, humans are gonna probably get too strong if we do that. But it's not. So it's a good white card. I like it. I think it fits.
That's cool. All right, the third one, the uncommon we have is Path to Exile, which I feel like I don't even need to read this. It is 1 white mana for an instant. Says exile target creature. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle their library.
Yeah.
So
we've talked about this a lot.
I think this card actually would work in our format, and I don't think it would be too powerful. The fact that they get a land, I think lands are probably, or mana, is like one of the most valuable things, and if not the most valuable thing in Magic, right? Because you can't really do much without mana. And the fact that it's like donating mana to your opponent, and you are exiling something.
Oh yeah.
But like you're exiling a creature, they're getting something in response. It's not life, because I think life is just like stupid. It doesn't really matter, especially in control.
You're referring to Swords of Plowshare, which is the one that we have with the with that set that we got, the Strixhaven. That is
archive, or whatever.
The archive. We got the swords, and it was like, that is way too powerful. Yeah, exactly.
No, that wouldn't work in our format.
No, it's way too strong.
This is perfect, though.
Yeah,
I think we are nearing power level of modern. This is in modern.
Yeah,
and it's fair in modern. Not every deck runs it because, like, the benefit's good, but the drawback is also really bad. It can be potentially terrible for you.
It's true. I really do think that it's worth trying it out, but at the same time, I could definitely see this getting banned. I can see like any white deck running Path, basically, if it gets put in. So
Yeah.
it's potentially ban worthy, I think. Out of all the cards that we've talked about so far, I'm still fine with us trying it out, you know? And it's a uncommon, so if they ban it, who gives a shit, right? So we might have to live with the terrors of this card for a little while, but that, you know, I think they would fix it if it was like out of control.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Next.
And then finally we have Serum Visions, which is a 1 blue mana for sorcery. And here it is uncommon, but it's actually a common in other sets. And it says draw a card, scry 2. Yeah, this card is scary to me.
So good.
Because it's a really good cantrip.
Yeah.
This is like one of the ones where yeah, we like, I don't know, it might be too good because we already have a lot of cantrips in our format.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard for me to judge this, especially because I'm, like I said before, I should not be judging these to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is what, out of all the cards we've seen so far, I think this is one of the scarier ones. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. Like this and Path are definitely like on the higher side. The fact that it's not an instant is the only reason I would be like, okay. But I mean, we just banned Brainstorm and stuff, you know, and so then we would bring in Serum Vision and be like, hey, it's a slightly less, you know, version of Brain. I mean, this is clearly worse than Brainstorm, you know. So maybe.
I mean, I honestly, I don't necessarily think so. Keep going.
Maybe
though,
maybe not. Okay, yeah, you're right. Because scrying is different than putting stuff back on top of your. No, Brainstorm's better. Brainstorm's way better because the top deck manipulation, you can get rid of stuff. You know, Brainstorm's way better.
Yeah.
But Serum Vision still scary. I think we have a lot of good effects like this. I don't know. I don't want it in the format, but I also don't know if it's ban worthy at the same time.
So the reason I think this is actually, I actually think in our format this would be more powerful than Brainstorm is because you don't get a scry before you draw first.
Yeah.
Brainstorm to me, it is really powerful. It got banned.
Yeah.
But it becomes way more powerful when you have things like fetch lands, like where you have more access to fetch lands.
Absolutely.
We do have Fabled Passage, but we don't have more than that. This, you know, instead of just putting cards from your hand on top of your library, because then, you know, you can't really manipulate your library. At this point, you can be like, ooh, the next 2 cards are bad.
Yeah.
I'm putting them on the bottom, right? Or that card's great. I'm putting that on top, and I'm putting that, I'm tucking the other one away, so I don't have to see it again. And I think that alone is really powerful. So that's why this card really scares me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. So he actually gave some feedback. He's the only one to give feedback. Everybody else, including our co-host, didn't say shit. So LP Lovecraft, 5 stars for that. So anyway, so for Serum Vision, let's see what he said. He said, Serum Vision's to make Delver more viable and give control decks a bit more now that memory lapse is gone. So, okay, yeah, Delver does actually need a little bit of help, I think. I don't think, like, we both said we don't think it's a good deck. You know, if in historic, like for the amount of hype that was around it, I just don't think it's that great. Okay, and then uncommon, he's got Path, since white needs better removal. White does have pretty good removal. I like that new white removal that we got is pretty good. But yeah, sure. Yeah. Why not? We're both.
This is better.
Yeah, this is way fucking better. And then Liliana, to give a traditional black mid-range deck some more legs. So yeah. Oh, he didn't. Wait, did he give? Oh yeah, Giver.
No, he said no. Yeah, he said Giver of Runes, as it's very flexible in its usage for multiple creature-based strategies.
Yeah,
which I 100% agree with.
Yeah, I think that card is the one that I'm like the most. I like that one the most out of all these. The other ones I feel like are on the upper end of the power creep of our format, but still like, you know, doable. So yeah, good picks there. All right, let's move on to the next ones, and this is Shikayo Magai. All right, this is my sorry.
This is your bro.
Yeah, this is my bro. Yeah, sorry man, I can't pronounce your fucking super Japanese name because I don't have the mouth ability for it. So all right, Drunken, what's he got? What's he got here?
So he has 3 cards here. He did not listen whatsoever.
No.
But because he's got 2 mythics and a rare.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I actually like where his head's at here, and I'll say why later. So we got Nizan, Revered Blade Master for 4 green and a white. It's a legendary creature, Cat Artificer. It says when Nizan, Revered Blade Master, enters the battlefield, search your library for an equipment card and reveal it. If you reveal a card named Hammer of Nizan, which I don't know why he didn't just also include this, but
Yeah.
I guess you don't need it ultimately.
You do.
This way, put it into your battlefield, put it onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
Otherwise, put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library. It says, whenever an equipment creature you control attacks, you may tap target creature defending player controls, and it is a 5/4. So this is from a commander set.
Yeah.
And I really like this card. It's from the Cats commander.
Hell yeah.
And I like where his head's at. He picked pretty much all the cards he picked for the sake of Historic Brawl.
Yeah.
And I like that because Historic Brawl needs some love.
Hell yeah.
This would do nothing in Historic Constructed, but Historic Brawl, this would be a really good card and really cool to play with.
And I think it's along just kind of the flavor of the anthologies where they introduce like big crazy cards like this. Like, sure, hey, maybe you can reanimate this thing, you know? So yeah, and I feel like a lot of like the anthologies have added like big, crazy, huge effect cards like this, and it would fit in great. And it's a cat. I love cat decks. All right, what do we got next?
Then we got Miri, Weather Light Duelist. For 1 green and a white, it's a legendary creature cat warrior. It has first strike. Whenever Miri Weather Light Duelist attacks, each opponent can't block with more than 1 creature this combat. And as long as Miri Weather Light Duelist, Jesus Christ, is tapped, no more than 1 creature can attack you each combat, and it is a 3/2. Same thing. I think this card is cool. It'd be really great for Historic Brawl. I don't see it in our format, but it's a cool card.
I think this would be amazing in our format, actually. I really liked it.
Okay.
I mean, I really like this. This is one of my picks also. It's got first strike. It's a 3. It would give cat decks a little bit more. And like we were talking about how like these anthologies should help out other like fringe archetypes a little bit. This would help out cats, I think. It would also play a part in warrior decks as well, which are also kind of fringe. And then its abilities are really good. I really like Miri. I think it's and you can see it like in this deck. It's like a $20 card. So it you know, I mean,
it's a strong card. Yeah,
it's really strong in a lot of ways. And you know, I think this would be great. I mean, the only thing that sucks is it's a commander, and I don't think they've touched commander sets. I don't think we have gotten any.
They have, yeah.
Oh, have they? I thought we haven't gotten anything from a commander set in our format yet.
Yeah,
but,
we have.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Well then, fuck it. Yeah, bring in Mary, please. All right, next.
And then we have finally Grand Abolisher, white for a creature human cleric. And it says, during your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. I fucking love this card.
So
I think this would be so good in our format.
Oh my God.
It might be too good.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, like I said before, Death and Taxes or Hate Bears just isn't there. You know, it's a 1.5 or 2.0. You know, it's not 1.0, right? It's not like the top tier deck.
Yeah.
And this card alone, I think, might like help push it there. You know, this will punish control. This will punish so many things. You know, this will punish Jun Sack hard.
Oh yeah. They can't do
I love this card.
That. Yeah, this card is so good. And yeah, once again, this is like a commander staple that you see around. And holy shit. It's also a human too, which like, yeah, it's going to slot right into like the really strong human decks right now. I love it. I love this card. The art is fucking sweet. Dude looks boss as fuck, you know, like it's great. It might be too good, like you said. I don't know.
It might be too good. Yeah. I do like it a lot though. I just like, because I like Death and Taxes and I like Hate Bears, I'm gonna be biased as fuck and say, yeah, let's add it.
Same. Yeah, I feel you. All right, let's get to dipshit dummies. Apollo's.
Yeah. Michael, Apollo, you fucking idiot.
He once again did not listen to us. All right, so he also has Tarmogoyf in there. A lot of people are requesting Tarmogoyf, man. So we can skip that. All right, and then next he's got Death Right Shaman. What do you think about Deathrite, dude? This card's crazy. It's so first. Oh, sorry. Let me read it. It's a it's a black green like hybrid mana for this guy. He's an elf shaman. He was banned in certain formats. I already know that.
Modern.
Yeah.
He was banned in modern. I don't know if he's still banned, but he definitely was banned.
You can tap him and exile a land card from a graveyard and add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. I think that was way better in modern because of the shock lands. And then you have black tap him, exile target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. And then tap a green, or 1 green, and then tap him, and then exile target creature card from a graveyard. You gain 2 life. What do you think?
So he was referred to as the 1 mana planeswalker because basically it has 3 abilities, right? And I mean, sure, they 2 of them cost mana. I think this card is fair in our format, honestly. I like it a lot. I think it's a good pick. I hope we get it because we're supposed to be going all the way back to Return to Ravnica, which is what this is from.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too powerful. We don't have fetch lands in our format, and that's what makes this card, I think, way too powerful.
Absolutely.
And that's how people were abusing it before. Because say you're playing like a dredge deck, right? Where you're like milling yourself into the graveyard and like doing stuff out of the graveyard. Yeah, we do have that in this format, but we don't have the fetch lands, which is what made that so much better. Because, like, say you play this on turn 1, turn 2, you exile a land out of your graveyard because you fetched on turn 1 as well. Then you have 3 mana turn 3, and that's when just shit starts going out of control. And we don't have that, so I think this is fine. I think it's good. I like it.
Yeah, you nailed it. I think the only thing is if they start adding stuff like this in, it really puts the nail in the coffin of us getting, fetch lands like that. So that would be that would be the only reason that I wouldn't want them to put stuff like this in our format. Is like, do we want shock lands? Do we want the fetch lands like that? Not fetch lands. Do we want those? They're super crazy powerful, and there's a huge downside to having them in our format, and that is that we won't be able to have cards like this because I think it'll be way too crazy. So, cool. All right, next, what do we got? Lingering Souls.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so it's 2 and a white for sorcery, and it's create 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, and it has flashback for 1 and a black. Love it. Love spirits. I like this. I like this a lot. I think it's pretty good, actually. I'm proud of him. What do you think?
I think this is I think this is great. I am surprised they didn't print it, and I would not be surprised if they print it in the next set.
Yeah.
The next Innistrad set, you know what I mean? I think this is an incredibly good card. It's not too powerful either. It's not like it puts tokens over the top at all.
No.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I like it. Good job, Apollo. All right, it is your turn, Drunken. You're up.
All right, so here are my picks. DrunkenDork.
Holy shit.
And I absolutely think I picked the best cards I've ever played because it's insane. But let's start with my mythics. So I picked Cavern of Souls.
Jesus.
As my first mythic. And if you don't know that, it's a land at mythic, and it says, as Cavern of Souls enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. And then it says tap, add a colorless mana. Or tap, add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast creature spells of the chosen type, and that spell can't be countered. Now, I've seen your cards, Hoshi, and I am very surprised you didn't pick this, probably because you think it's too powerful.
Yeah, that's really what it is. I love it. I love Cavern, though.
I think this would be really good in our format because, I think we don't have Memory Lapse banned yet. I think we could have the potential of bringing Memory Lapse back if we had something like this, because it displaces them, because Cavern of Souls isn't good against any deck. It's just good against like decks that run counter spells. And not only that, it's good for like creature based decks where they're all the same creature type.
Slivers.
Oh, there you go. So it'd be really good for something like Slivers.
I know. It would.
Or humans or elementals or like all these decks that I think like it could just help, propel them a little bit. Yeah, it might be a little too powerful, but I fucking want it so bad.
Yeah, I agree. It's an $80 card, Drunken, so that says something. It's so fucking good. This would really help out slivers. This would help out literally any tribal deck in a huge way. Man, I think it's too good though. I think it might be too good.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
My next one is Ensnaring Bridge. It is 3 colorless mana for an artifact at Mythic. It says creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can't attack. Okay.
Yeah.
I love this card,
Wow.
and I think so. There is an archetype that we have in our format that it just isn't viable. It's definitely like a tier 2 archetype. And that is discard, right? And I think something like this would really propel it forward. The problem is Ensnaring Bridge can be good in multiple deck types.
Yeah.
It could be way too powerful in some other ones, like maybe like, I don't know, Mono Red Burn, right? As a sideboard card.
Yeah.
Something like that. So I'm really on the fence of it. I just think that right now we don't have enough stuff to really make this over the top, and there's enough good artifact removal that it's not too powerful, because it's not like it has hexproof or anything like that.
Yeah.
You can still remove this card, and people mainboard artifact removal. Like, that is a thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I think this would just propel that archetype that I want. This is me being biased, forward into a tier 1 deck, or 1.5 maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is too fucking strong for hyper aggro decks. You know, maybe not. I don't know. I feel like someone will abuse the shit out of this in a very painful way, though. So I'm not smart enough to like figure out what that deck is, but I know someone is. So I think it.
So the thing is, if you're
a
hyper aggro, this will hurt you more.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you're mono red burn, it will not hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So like that's why it would benefit mono red burn. It would benefit discard. It like, or some type of maybe weird control, like tap out like blue red black control, where you don't generally have a lot of cards in your hand. But yeah, like hyper aggro green red or white or anything like that, it would actually hurt you more than it would benefit you.
I don't think so, because you would drop all your creatures on the
but then you can't attack.
Creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can't attack. Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, so it does affect your creatures too. All right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. So it's not... All right, I kind of like it. I like that duality to it.
Okay.
All right, next.
Cool.
What do we got?
Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Pure Seal Paladin. I fucking love this card.
Love it.
I really, really want it in our format.
Yeah.
For white, it's a creature human knight. It says, whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. And then it has Metalcraft. Equipment you control have equip 0, as long as you control 3 or more artifacts.
Yeah.
So it basically is an enchantress for equipment.
Yeah.
Which is great. It adds an archetype that we don't have in our format, which is equipment-based archetypes.
Yeah.
We don't have that. Like, I did lose to one the other day, but you have to get real fucking lucky to hit swinging with the stupid hammer.
Yeah.
You know, this would allow the hammer to be usable. It doesn't have hexproof or anything, so it's still targetable.
Yeah.
I think this is a completely fair card, and it would be great for our format.
Yeah, I love it. And this and the next card that you have on here, the only thing that I am fearful of is the same thing that I was talking about with Deathrite Shaman, is that once you start adding in these kind of cards, they're going to have to be a little more picky on what equipments they give us, because we already have some pretty crazy ones like that hammer. So yeah, because there's a bunch of other equipments that I want out there, and they might deny us those if we start getting cards like this. But I think this really would help out those formats a lot. I love this card so much. All right, so Stoneforge, let's do it.
All right, so yeah, then my next one's Stoneforge Mystic, 1 and a white for creature core artificer. And when Stoneforge Mystic enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Then it says 1 and a white, tap. You may put an equipment card from your hand onto the battlefield. and it is a 1/2. So that ability is really powerful.
Yeah.
Everything about this card's really powerful.
Yes.
The thing that is, though, it is a 2 mana card. A lot of our removal with 2 toughness.
Yeah.
A lot of things can remove it. So being able to even get to that second ability is hard to do, I think, in our format. Searching out equipment, I think is fair. It propels the deck forward. Being able to put a fucking hammer down and like equipping it for 0 with that other guy is, you know, like that would be powerful like together, but still you need 3 equipment to do something like that. So I do think even if we had both of these cards, we don't have, what is that equipment that gives +1/+0 for each artifact you have? Like we don't have something like that.
Oh
like,
yeah.
We don't have
the
Sword of Fire and Ice.
Not Skull Clamp, whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
Skull Clamp. We don't have, not Skull Clamp, the other one. But yeah, we don't have Sword of Fire and Ice. We don't have Umezawa's Shite. So like, I think these cards would be really fair in our format, and it would help like make an equipment based deck, which I think would be really cool because it's just another archetype to have, right?
I fucking totally agree, man. I love Stoneforge. I think Stoneforge is totally fair in this one. I think it's more fair than Pure Steel Paladin. I think Pure Steel is crazy because he has that equip 0 thing, you know, so he can be, I feel like, more abused than Stoneforge can, even though Stoneforge fetches, you know, like her other ability is crazy to get huge artifacts onto the field and stuff, or huge equipments, but I feel like, yeah, she is more fair. Together, they're very good. Together, they make a viable, you know, contender deck in our format. So I don't know if they're crazy, if they're too crazy broken together. It's one of those things where I would just have to see how, like, you know, those two together would perform in our format. I think they would be very good, and I think it would be a fun day. I fucking love equipment. I love it. Cool, man. What do you got next?
All right, then I got Utopia Sprawl for an uncommon, which is a 1 green mana for an enchantment aura, and it says Enchant Forest. As Utopia Sprawl enters the battlefield, choose a color. Whenever Enchanted Forest is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 mana of the chosen color to his or her mana pool. So this basically is ramp in enchantment form. And I think, so I talk about Enchantress all the fucking time because I love enchantment decks. I love equipment and enchantment decks, whether it's auras or just regular enchantments.
Yeah.
I love handlock. I love stuff like that. I think this would turn my enchantment deck. I know, I'm not blind. I think it's like 1.5 or 2.0, you know, tier 2, tier 1.5.
No, it's good.
Make it tier 1.
Yeah, you're out of your fucking mind with this. This is way too strong, dude.
Okay. All right, that's fair. That's fair.
I like it, but this is way too powerful, dude. The Enchantress deck is not the only one that's going to abuse this. I like it.
That's true.
Yeah, I think it's way too strong.
Okay. With that, we have my other uncommon, which is the Rack. And it is 1 colorless mana for an artifact. And it says, as the Rack comes into play, choose an opponent. At the beginning of the... Sorry, it's really hard for me to read this. At the beginning of the chosen player's upkeep, the Rack deals X damage to that player, where X is 3 minus the number of cards in their hand.
Yikes.
So this... You know, if you're watching us, it's right below Ensnaring Bridge. I did this on purpose because this goes right into a discard deck.
Yep.
And it really punishes people for like destroying their hand. And it's something that isn't super viable in our format. No. You can play it. It's tier 2 for sure.
Absolutely.
And this would just propel it a little forward. You know, it allows you to damage your opponent for not having cards, for punishing them, you know, and like... Yeah, I really like this card.
Is the Rack on the reserve list? Because it's a really fucking old card.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, it got reprinted recently.
Oh, did it? Okay, never mind. Okay, well then, yeah. I mean, I don't think this would be broken in our format. It's very powerful, and I think it would make those decks a little bit better, which is the whole point of this stuff, right? Like, make some more decks a little more powerful, right? Let's fix the curve on some of this stuff. So yeah, the Rack seems cool. Like it. All right, what do we got next?
Cool. And then next I have Glade Cover Scout, which is 1 green mana for a creature, Elf Scout, at common, and it has hexproof, and it is a 1/1.
Yeah.
We probably don't need this card.
No.
I did this for auras. It's just I love this card. I played it in standard.
Yeah.
Back when it was in standard. I've played it in modern, and I played it in Legacy. I just have a big, this is just me being stupid and being like, yeah, we just need more stuff for auras. I think it'd be good because it would spread auras out to green and it'd make people look at them a little different. Auras is still tier 1 right now.
Yeah.
This is just me. This is just a love card.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's very good. I think it would fit in perfectly. It would make green auras a thing. I mean, you don't really see green auras that much, so why not have them be a super annoying deck too? So fantastic.
Yeah,
all right, next.
All right, and then finally we have Qasali Pride Mage for a green and a white. It's a creature, cat, wizard, and it has Exalted.
Yes.
And then it has 1 colorless mana, sacrifice Qasali Pride Mage, destroy target artifact or enchantment, and it is a 2/2.
Yeah.
I love this card.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised we don't have it yet. I think we absolutely will get it in the future. It will add to green-white hate bears, green-white black death and taxes, green-white death and taxes, you know.
Yeah.
It's just a good card
Super
altogether. It has Exalted. It can destroy stuff if it's just sitting around and you need it to. I love it.
Yeah, it's so much better than a common. What the hell? It's so good. This is definitely...
It's got so much going on.
Right? Yeah. How is this a common? It's really good, like, in a lot of ways. So, yeah, I love this card. And it's a cat, and I like kitties, at least in the game. Yeah, so, cool.
Cool. All right, let's move on to you, dude.
All right, let's get into Dummy McDrunkenpants' picks right here. So, first, I got Brimaz. King of Orcus, yeah. So
Rescos.
Yeah.
You almost got it.
Thank you. I nailed it. So he is colorless and 2 white for a legendary creature, cat soldier. Right here we go with the kitties again. He has vigilance. Whenever Brimaz attacks, put a 1/1 white cat soldier creature token with vigilance onto the battlefield, attacking. Whenever Brimaz blocks, put a creature. A 1/1 cat creature soldier token on with vigilance onto the battlefield, blocking that creature as well. And he is a 3/4 for 3, so he's super fucking good. And he was like a $50 card or something when he came out. What do you think about Brimaz, man?
Yeah, I think it's perfectly fair in our format. I'm surprised you chose it, honestly. I think this is like kind of on the weaker end. Like, I don't know if we'd see it a whole lot in our format. I like it.
I don't think so. I think it's really good for white, and it's a cat. And I'm all about pumping. Mainly my choices were about like pumping up weaker decks that I felt like needed some love. So I picked.
Okay,
so
I like it.
So I picked Brimaz because and mainly it's all tribal. So I picked Brimaz because he's a really strong cat. And same thing. I picked Miri Weatherlight Duelist. The same thing my bro did because it's another very strong cat along those lines. Okay, next, this is one that no one picked, and this is Mausoleum Wanderer. It is 1 blue for a creature spirit with flying. Whenever another spirit enters the battlefield under your control, Mausoleum Wanderer gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Sacrifice Mausoleum Wanderer. Counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller plays X, where X is its power. What do you think?
I fucking love it.
Dude.
Yeah. Good pick. Yeah, this card's good. It would propel spirits a little bit better. Yeah, I think you did smart. What do you have? I mean, what do you have to say about it? You chose it.
I fucking love spirits so much. My spirit deck is so much fun to play, and I think this is so good. It'll be so good in that deck because like board wipes really punish that deck, and then being able to counter those to sacrifice this dude. He gets strong. He's basically like a champion of the parish, or champion of the perished. Now for spirits, which I love. So I love this card. I think it's really powerful, and it would make spirits a bonkers deck. Maybe too strong? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. But it would make it a viable deck.
It'd make it very good. It's already pretty viable, dude.
Yeah.
I crush with that deck a lot. And then we have Stoneforge Mystic, which we already talked about for my other rare. And then next,
good pick.
Yeah, thank you. And then next, I have Crystalline Sliver, which is here we go into my slivers. I wanted to just pick all slivers, but I had to be fucking reasonable here. So Crystalline Sliver gives all slivers Shroud, and it is white and blue for a sliver at 2/2. What do you think?
I think this is too powerful.
Oh, fuck off. Really? Do you?
Yeah, because slivers, they hive mind, they get out of control, and this just shuts down like mid-range decks, you know, like if you have this out, you just can't play mid-range against these decks, so against sliver decks, you know, so I think it might be too powerful.
I think with the slivers that we have, this color pairing is difficult to get out crystalline sliver.
That's true.
So I don't think it's too powerful, especially with the land base that we have to be able to get out slivers. I think it's fair, and that's why I chose it, because I don't think that slivers are like that fucking crazy that we have right now. Right, they're definitely tier 2, if not below that, in our format.
Yeah, they are. I lost the slivers last night.
They can they can go absolutely fucking nuts if you have the right hand, right? So that's what I love about them. I feel like they just need a little bit more of a push, and crystalline sliver is a super good sliver. I thought it wasn't too good, but yeah, this is one of the higher end slivers, definitely.
I do think this might be too good. But you know, you never know.
I wanted to put the regenerate one in there, but I felt like that was too crazy. So so I went with crystalline. And then next I have Skull Clamp, which is, holy shit, this is another one where I might be out of my mind.
You're out of your goddamn mind.
Skull Clamp is just so good. It is a 1-drop artifact equipment, and equipped creature gets +1, -1. Whenever an equipped creature dies, you draw 2 cards, and it's 1 to equip it. This is probably too good for our format. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like there's so many decks that would abuse the shit out of this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Just imagine this in elves, right? Like if you put 4 of these in an elves deck, you're gonna win the game. You know, like you have infinite card draw. Like if you run this in like a human, it's too good, dude. It's way too good.
Okay.
This card is incredible.
Yeah, you're probably right. This is once again me just having like a
massive erection for Skull Flame. Yeah, I don't blame you. I fucking love the card.
Yeah,
it's so good.
You're right. It's probably way too good. I mean, if maybe they reprinted Skull Clamp but made it like equip 2 or something, then maybe. You know, like just nerf it a little bit and then give it to me. And then,
oh man,
and then here we go. With my last 2 are both slivers. The first one is muscle sliver, which is all slivers get +1/+1, and he is also a 1/1. So he's another version of the like predatory one that we already have. He does the exact same thing. He's just another buff for slivers. So he's another 2-drop lord. Which I think is fucking great, yeah. And then the other,
I think it's fine,
yeah. I think it fits in well. And then the other one is another one that I think will help out slivers, which is going to be plated sliver. It is 1 white, and it is all slivers get 0/1, and he's a 1-drop for 1, and he's a 1/1. So you know he becomes a 1/2. And I think the slivers in our format are really suffering from 1-drops. We only have 1 currently. And then this is a very good 1-drop for slivers that gives them a little bit more toughness, makes them a little bit harder to pick off in the beginning. So I like him. Yeah, these are very simple, right?
I love it.
But I think they'll...
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. Yeah, I think all of them are good except maybe Skull Clamp and Crystalline. Yeah, I like all your picks, especially Stoneforge Mystic. I really want Stoneforge Mystic in our format.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it would just be so fun. I really like the spirit. I want that fucking spirit, man. I want it. So.
We're gonna get it. You know, we're gonna get it, right? I mean, that's 2 sets away. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. Give it to me, Wizards. All right, so.
All right, relax, bro.
Oh, sorry. All right, any last words about all the fucking crazy cards that we just looked at that we want?
No, we are going long as fuck. We need to end this.
Well, with that, once we let our erections die down, let's get into our end step. End step. And end step is where we normally
always love it.
We always talk about other shit outside, but we've gone way fucking overboard. So I'm just gonna put the kibosh on end step and go right into cleanup. Yeah.
Cleanup.
All right, and cleanup is social media promo time, and this is where we talk about all the stuff that we have going on in, you know, the the Mana Rant verse. We have a Discord that's super, or Discord, a Discord.
Discard.
That's, Discord. A Discord that's super awesome.
You discarded that Discord.
Ton of good people in there. We're getting more and more people every day that are joining the Discord, and you know, we're working to make it a better place. I think we might need moderators pretty soon or something. I don't know. I hear that that's something that would be good. So if you're interested in that, let us know. You know, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we put this out on all the podcast stuff for you guys to listen to, and then we are trying to maybe do Patreon eventually, so we can do some type of, like, you know, extra content for you guys or something, but we're not there yet. So yeah, and then yeah, if you would give us a like or review or whatever, I mean, I hear that helps, so it at least makes me feel, it makes me feel better. We've gotten a lot of people dropping in on Discord and just saying like, hey, you know, we like the show, just letting you know, and then, you know, we never hear from them again, but hey, it's nice that, like, I'm like, hey,
we appreciate that. Yeah, I know, that's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Absolutely.
So all right, well, with that, we will get into
with that, real quick,
go. Yeah, go.
If you didn't know, after the show we do our nightcap, which is our post-show gameplay.
Yes.
So please tune in.
Yeah, hang around. And with that, now we'll get into Discard.
Discard phase. Drink 'em up, boys.
And like she said, Discard phase is where we finish what we've been drinking, and I've finished already like 2 things tonight because it's been a rough week.
Dude,
It's been a rough week for me. I've been working doubles and stuff,
I feel ya.
and I've been looking forward to this pod, and this was a fun subject to talk about and stuff. So, dude, I had a good time with this one. Do you got anything else to say before we sign off, dude?
Yeah, hey, Brennan, it was great having you here. Thanks for joining in on Twitch, and Senyo, you know, go fuck yourself. Don't try and sell yourself on here. Get out of here.
All right, everybody, we will see you right here next week again on Mana Rant.
Cheers. I did not pound that much. I did my pounding in the beginning.
You pound it, bitch. Finish up.
I'm not pounding this delicious beer.
Finish up, man.
Mexican chocolate peanut butter stout? No way. No way in hell. Delicious.
I want to see another piece of bacon come out of your nose, dude.
No, I don't ever want to see that, or more importantly, I don't ever want to feel that again. It was like giving birth through my nose hole.
That was one of the most horrific things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think I might have ate it after.
Oh.
No, I didn't eat it. No, I didn't. I did not.
That was like an inch wide piece. It wasn't a skinny piece either. That was a big fat.
It was a full bacon. It was a full bacon. Yeah, it was really, really gross. Not proud. Kind of proud though. Kind of a little proud. Tiny bit proud. Not really proud though.